What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Nerds of UVM. I am David. I'm joined by my friend Bob.
Hello.
And I'm joined by my friend Luke.
I forgot who I was.
Yeah, I mean I don't know where it was. I thought I was gonna say something quippy, and then it didn't really work out that way.
Man.
So
That happens to me with everything I say, David.
yeah. So we're gonna move on from that. We want to thank you so much for joining us on this episode of our Roundtable Talk Show. We're gonna talk about some of the new trailers that have recently come out in just the past 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, they've been good.
Should we start with the big one, or should we save that for last?
Let's start with the big one.
Paddington 2.
Oh, that's right. There's a Paddington 2.
Did they release a trailer for it?
Yeah, they did.
Oh, wait. Actually, though, I like that movie.
No, but we all know what we're talking about.
Star Wars.
I need someone to show me my place in all this.
I'm I'm not really a fan of football, and I made sure to keep track of when that halftime was happening.
Okay. All right.
And then I immediately went to YouTube.
So
Yep.
Bob, impressions. Let's talk about those.
Oh man, the best thing I liked about it is I have no idea where the movie's going. It didn't give a lot away. I think it gave hints, and actually I can't. Like, this is my favorite thing about the trailer is how detailed Luke's hand is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good hand.
It's an amazing
good
looking
CGI
hand. And I think it's still the one from Jedi, because I'm seeing some like memes where you can slightly see like scorch marks where he got shot through it on Jabba's sail barge.
I haven't seen that.
Oh,
I'm
cool.
curious to wonder how the skin degraded, because not all of his hand was like.
No, it was like prosthetic skin too, yeah.
Yeah, I know, but I wonder where it went. Is my point.
Maybe it got burned off when Kylo sacked the new Jedi Temple.
Maybe. Okay, that makes sense. Actually, that automatically makes sense.
Yeah.
I kind of like a robot hand that, I mean, they couldn't do it back in the day. I mean, you saw like just like the little like prosthetic robot parts, which were still impressive in the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, when Luke is testing out his new hand, you see the gears moving.
Yeah.
But I like
Anakin's robot hands were cool.
yes, I like seeing the hand. I like seeing the robot hand itself. I don't like it covered up for some reason. I don't know.
Yeah. But I also agree with you. I really like the fact that they showed so much, but also did not give away the plot,
Yeah.
which so many movies do nowadays. That's like really a risk watching trailers, because like sometimes you'll watch a trailer and you're like, oh, I don't need to see the movie now.
Yeah. That
Especially with
sucks.
this whole like teaser trailer culture. But this trailer showed just enough to keep you hyped. Plus, it looks so beautiful.
Yeah, and honestly, I think it shows even a little bit more than enough. I remember the Final Force Awakens trailer. I still really had no idea what was going on, where events were going, what was taking place. Here, I have a way better idea of what's taking place. So Rey is training with Luke. Luke seems to be shunning her somewhat because of her power, and this is making Rey frustrated. On the other side of the galaxy, we have Kylo Ren, who's getting very frustrated with his own leadership roles, starts to somewhat abandon the First Order, it looks like, because that helmet, it's not only like an homage to Darth Vader, but it was also given to him by Snoke as like a gift for becoming the leader of the Knights of Ren, which is his like clan of warriors.
Yeah.
Wait, is that mentioned in the movie, or is that like
I read this in a item description on like one of those visual
okay.
dictionaries.
Okay.
So that's where I read it. And so obviously smashing that has a lot of symbolism that he's frustrated with Snoke. He's
Or maybe he doesn't want to go into Vader's. I mean, we could go on a whole episode of talking about this, but maybe like he wants to get out of Vader's shadow now.
Doubt that very much so, in all honesty, because that he killed his father so that he could follow in Darth Vader's footsteps.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know. It's hard for me to explain in like only like a couple minutes, but I get where you're going. But yeah,
Right.
That, I mean, oh man.
And in the same point in time, there is the rebellion, the resistance, which I still think is like the dumbest follow-up name you could have chosen for the Rebel Alliance. Why not call it like? I mean, I also think the First Order is kind of dumb. There's a lot of things about this new prequel trilogy or this new sequel trilogy that I'm not a huge fan of. Those names are a big one of them.
Yeah.
But we can see that the Resistance. Actually, we don't see a lot from the Resistance. We see Poe give somewhat of an inspiring speech, and then we see at some point Finn goes up against Phasma again.
And those new speeders on Crate or whatever, the red dust planet. They had a.
Are those speeders? I thought those were like broken B wings.
Well, I mean, they're like kind of like the best. I think the words they describe it is like they're kind of like just like jet skis on like flatlands.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Speaking of what the flatland battle looks like, it looks like it's going to be great. Hate the design of these new walkers.
You don't like it?
Hate them. Absolutely hate. When I first
Well,
heard about them, they, if I can just make this point, when I first heard about them, they made this point that like, oh, these are going to be like gorilla walkers. And I thought, oh my gosh, like an actual, like that is something new. How does that look like? And it's like, no, they do the hands of the gorillas. And
I'm
that's
gonna
it.
give them a chance to see how they work in battle.
I'm sure they'll be fine. I'm sure they'll be cool. But like, honestly, my huge issue with like this new trilogy series is that there's not a whole lot of innovation being done with technology and stuff in the universe. And I know why they did that. They did it to keep it familiar for fans. But if you look at in between the events that take place from episode 3 to episode 4, that's a 19-year gap. There's a lot of like technological innovation done that time. This is a 30-year gap. We're still using X-Wings and TIE fighters? Really? Come on. Can we innovate? Can we expand? Obviously, the TIE fighter can be improved somewhat. Oh, so you made it a two-person. Okay. I don't see that two-person in action too much, honestly. But that's my 2 cents. Anyway, please continue with Star Wars.
Yeah, I agree. The technology and like a lot of things, at least episode 7 did, was a lot to like keep it safe and keep it familiar from like that original trilogy that people love. But there are parts of this that look like very unique to this movie. And I think it's going to start like branching into its own thing. At least I hope so. The thing that caught me the most, just being like film major, is just like the cinematography of it.
It's a Ryan Johnson special.
It's the most like beautiful Star Wars I've seen, at least just from the clips they show. Like the one part where you see Kylo Ren's face against like that red background.
That looks
it
great.
reminded me of that the movie
yeah.
we watched for Film Theory, Red.
Oh my god!
But like replace a woman's face with like.
That was a beautiful shot, though. That was a beautiful. And what I like about this trailer now is in the original trilogy, Luke was a cocky kid. He was a cocky kid learning to be a Jedi. Even in Return of the Jedi, he was still a cocky guy. He walked into Jabba's palace.
He's just like, "What's up?"
Give it up, man. But in this one, he's like really fearful of Rey. Maybe he's even afraid of her because
no doubt
because he's seen this raw power before, and you just see it in his eyes.
Yeah.
And
Do you
that
think
one
that's
thing.
referring to Kylo Ren? Is that referring?
Yeah.
I would imagine so. I would be.
Because that's been his only other pupil, really. That's
only-
Well,
been
he had other pupils, but Kylo
like,
Ren murdered
raw
them.
power.
Yeah.
Pupil, like
well,
naturally
as
gifted.
far as we know. I mean, it makes the most sense. But like the other point to be made is there could be a lot of misdirection happening in this trailer. I mean, people were speculating that in Snoke's monologue, Snoke's voiceover was not directed at Kylo Ren, but it was directed at Rey.
Oh, I know. There's so many like
that could
side
be cool.
things because there is I'm pretty damn sure you saw Snoke like doing something force powerful to her.
Yeah,
And it
definitely.
looks like she's in the air suspended. Like
Yeah,
that.
definitely. Yeah.
Because when you see her, you see his yellow robe, so they're in the same room.
Yeah. And just as like,
And I want to know who his hand is going out to. Kylo Ren's hand.
it's
Yeah.
definitely going out to Rey. You can tell from the lighting and stuff. Although maybe
What if it's going
she's
to
sitting she's sitting at a fire with Luke. I mean,
that's another thing I like about watching the behind the scenes because there is a photo of Chewie having a fire by the Falcon, but there's no embers falling around here. For Kylo Ren's scene, there are embers and there's a lot more light around him.
That's true, but even if that's the
But
case,
that can
in the
still happen.
even in the context, like I mean, who else would he be holding his hand out to?
I know. I'm so
Not his mother, not Finn, not Poe, maybe Luke, but
Porg.
probably not.
He wants to hold a porg.
Porg. Porgs are
like,
so
I want
dumb.
to pet
That's
kids.
honestly, I'll see what the Porgs do, but it looks so obviously like just the Ewok 2.0 that I was like,
Let's sell
I don't
some
care.
merch.
Let Chewie,
Yeah, sell
let
some
Chewie
merch.
have his bunny rabbit.
I'm fine
Let
with chewing
Chewie
having a
have
bunny
his
rabbit,
bunny.
but honestly, if it's just gonna be like Porg, then like I don't care. Okay, all right. Let's move on to the next trailer we wanted to talk about, Stranger Things.
Season 2 looks amazing.
Really does. I've said this. I don't know if I wrote a review for Stranger Things. I probably should put that up if I didn't actually write it. I was thinking this, and I've said this to a number of people. Stranger Things is the first production that plays to 80s nostalgia that I felt like wasn't totally like just hitting me over the head with that 80s nostalgia feeling. Like it's authentically 80s and it's fun to be there. I listen to a lot of like,
Uses it as
because
a
only
backdrop, not as the film.
yeah,
Only 4 kids really love the things that we all love about like a lot of the 80s nostalgia, like Star Wars, Ghostbusters, and all that. Everybody else is just dressing like normal kids back then.
Yeah, and like I mean, the thing about it is like I listen to a lot of trendsetters and a lot of entertainers on like the internet and stuff like that, and a lot of them, because they're like in their mid to late 20s, early 30s or whatever, you know, they grew up in the 80s, so. You know, I hear them all the time say, "Oh, the '80s were so amazing." I'm like, "Shut the fuck up!" Like, no, they weren't. You had fucking like an AIDS outbreak and fucking like didn't have Bionicle back then. You didn't have Lego. What are you fucking talking about? Shut up, God. No offense to you. You're allowed to be nostalgic, but it just got obnoxious after a while because that's what I hear time and time again.
People like '90s kids, like, "Oh, the '90s were the best." You know, like every decade has them.
Yeah, no decade is the best because we theoretically are just continuing.
No, but
80s did have some cool like media stuff, especially for us nerds people.
But the trailer, I mean, the graphics for a Netflix budget, especially for the Ultra Monster.
The VFX is what you're talking about.
Man.
Well, when we were watching it, we watched it right before we started filming. I was like, so what kind of budget does Stranger Things have? Because it looks insane.
It looks even better. It looks even better than the previous one.
I like how the kids
It did so well. They're probably like, take everything.
Yeah. Plus, I like how the little group, the 4 guys, are actually expanding to that other girl. Give them another expand their circle a little bit.
Yeah, I'm curious about
Will is going to be able to be in the story now because before he was just like this.
Yeah.
That was, I mean, unfortunately, I mean, I still love the first.
It was the nature of the story.
It was the nature of the story, and I didn't feel bad for the kid, but I mean, it was like because it was about Will being kidnapped and rescuing Will. I mean, what scenes I did see of Will, I really like. Yeah. Because they were more teasers more than anything. Because you either saw him in the upside down version of his fort, hiding from the monster and everything. But this trailer in 11 looks even more badass.
I so don't know how she's going to factor into the story. There's no real we haven't seen any scenes of her like interacting with any of the crew or anything like that.
Not yet.
And there's
she
actually
does open a door to some house, so it's somebody's house.
Yeah, she dresses up like Finn.
Yeah.
Or whoever his character's name is. Finn Wolfhard, the main kid.
Will?
The kid from It.
Oh, okay.
She looks like she dresses up like him at one point.
I haven't seen the movie, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. And then I think that's kind of all that I got to say. I'll be interested to see what happens with Nancy and Charlie. If there's anything done there.
Mm-hmm.
Again, Charlie was Will's older brother, right?
Yes, because the other kid is not.
His name was Charlie, right?
I know the douchebag kid was Steven.
Yeah, not looking forward to seeing him again.
Not Flock of Seagulls hairstyle kid.
It looks like there's going to be from the footage that I can see, there's going to be a lot of party scenes. It's going to make me really tense. Like high school party scenes in media always make me super duper tense. Just I don't know. It's just I don't know. Anyway, Stranger Things season 2 looks great.
I mean, you have to be cautious because the last 80s party they had in the series, Barb got eaten.
That's true. Yeah, and they said they're going to do something with Barb. I honestly couldn't care less at this point, honestly.
Yeah, I just like the running gag of it.
Here's the thing. They never addressed it in the show, which was weird. But now they're going to they're apparently going to make a whole mini arc about her getting back, which I thought she died.
She was liquefied.
I thought she was.
Yeah.
She looked like she got cocooned.
Don't bring Barb back.
Yeah, it's fine.
But we'll move on. Stranger Things season 2 looks great. Going to talk about New Mutants.
I'm intrigued.
Not impressed.
It's weird. It looks
like a horror.
Yeah, I didn't think they'd go horror movie. But it looks like one.
Here's the thing, right? I particularly find the X-Men franchise out of all superheroes the weakest. Mm-hmm. I don't think going into a horror movie is the way to go. Personally.
Yeah, I get where you're going from that. I don't know. I honestly, I might watch the first episode, and if I don't like it, I don't like it. So it's no skin off my nose. I mean, I'm a fan of Maisie Williams from Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. I think she's a great actress for her age as well. It's 19 years old, but she's very she has some mature roles in Game of Thrones. I'm interested to see where she's at. Has a couple other people we know. The Will's brother from Stranger Things is going to be in it, so I'm interested in what kind of thing he's at. Yeah, I'm more interested, like Luke said, I'm more interested in seeing if it's a post Logan sort of scenario. Is this after Logan or around the time Logan takes place, because it
Doesn't look like it.
So you don't think they might address the Mexican lab?
I think I would doubt it. I think the goal for Fox moving forward, Lou was about to fall over. I think the goal for them is to try and make an integrated universe as much as possible. So my theory is that by the end, Professor X will somehow be involved, and it'll be James McAvoy's Professor X.
I don't want that to happen.
I don't know. Maybe it's just because like I know Anya Taylor-Joy is in that film as well, and she's great. But like I just saw her in Split. This movie really reminds me of Split, but not in a really good way.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I don't know if it's just because like there hasn't been a superhero movie to do it yet. Maybe I need a director to show me that it can happen. I just don't think that a horror film is the best sort of direction for the superhero
this is
genre.
just the first trailer too, so maybe
That's
they
true.
just kept it horror themed because it's the month of Halloween.
That it's possible, but I read the
But
description.
it looks way too much like American Horror Story.
Yeah,
It
that too.
did, and I hate
that show too. But I'm good on that. So.
Yeah, New Mutants. We'll see what happens. You got to wow us, Fox. Our final trailer we're going to talk about, because we are going very overtime. We're going to talk about Justice League.
Let's do it. All right.
Quick 1-2s on what you think of the footage, and are you going to go see it next month?
It looked like really the reason I'd be going is to see Wonder Woman in action again. I loved.
You perv.
No, not even. Like I love that movie, and I like that superhero. Also, Gal Gadot is beautiful. I'm a man. I'll admit it.
Okay. You'll admit that you're a man.
I am a straight male, and I think Gal Gadot is beautiful.
Dude, you could be a gay male and think she's beautiful. Holy
Yes.
But I don't know. I'm kind of worried about is you
There's
see
no
like a
clear
dude.
villain.
Well, I mean, it's supposed to be Steppenwolf, and I
They've just been holding off on him because
Yeah.
to emphasize the heroes.
But what I'm really kind of concerned with is they did a lot of touch-ups with the digital effects. If you look at the 2016 trailer to this one,
They've changed the color palette
changed
significantly.
Color palette, and even Cyborg's overall structure.
Cyborg looks better every time I see him, in all honesty.
I know, but I'm afraid they're gonna get into the Batman v Superman scenario where it's gonna be impossible to make up the budget.
Well, at this point, I mean,
Because
we'll have to wait and see.
We might be looking at another $500 million movie just because of budget, and then
Wait,
like,
what other
marketing.
movie was like the production budget for like BVS was like $250 million.
Yeah, but then you spend like another $150 million on like advertisements.
Yeah, but that's not $500,000. I remember somebody. I'm sorry, I just got to tell you. I remember somebody in a comic book
I know,
store
but
that I went to
okay.
once.
Oh,
They
I might
claimed
have
like it was a $700 million
I know
movie.
I
Batman
might have
v Superman or
exaggerated,
something
but
like
still,
that.
like $300 million is still $300 million.
No. It's definitely it's a
And
lot
if
of money.
They only make like 200. That's like, hey, it's a success. No, they actually.
I don't think they will. I think they're doing what they think the audience wants, and I think this is what the audience wants. This is what the audience has
And
asked for
maybe if
personally.
Joss Whedon actually is better to take the helm. Than,
Well, it is Joss Whedon. It's his thumbprint moving forward. Zack Snyder laid the foundations, and Joss Whedon is touching it up how he wants. I'm gonna go see it. It looks like a lot of fun.
I'm gonna see it. I'm definitely gonna see it. But
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm still not sure
I'm
about
co-
the group chemistry. 'cause
I'm
I-
cautiously
they say
optimistic.
A lot of what I
Yeah.
think are supposed to be jokes, but like I barely smirk at them. I'm just kind of like, okay.
also, I don't know. The Flash has got to warm up to me. Like he's got to be there on the button.
Yep.
He because the Flash is like you got to get like the character's quippiness. You got to get his you just got to get his overall character within like the first couple minutes. I mean, I think one of the trailers did do a good job of that. Mm-hmm. And I'm not against this actor playing him. I'm kind of hot and cold on him overall as an actor in general, but the Flash has got to connect with audiences and not look like a horrible prospect.
Well, they're in no rush definitely to get Flash done. Clearly, they have they've had 3 directors, lost 3 directors for his solo film, so they're in no rush to get him out of the gate. It seems,
but they have to make it. I think they have to
Aquaman. I think more than anything, they have to. Aquaman more than anything, I think they have to make it work because he's got a movie coming out next year.
Yes.
So if he doesn't work, then that movie
Yes.
is definitely in danger.
Yeah. So far, I'm not sure how I feel about Aquaman. Hasn't done too much to impress me yet.
Cyborg is the one that has like impressed me the least personally.
Well, we haven't seen it too much.
Well, he's done nothing. That's my point. Why would you hide him so much if he doesn't? If he's supposed to be a great character, like
See,
what is he
yeah.
He
doing?
might just be another
Yeah.
like Killer Croc type of sitch.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. I hope for the best. But yeah, I think that's where we're going to cut it. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us for this very long episode of Nerds UVM.
It was worth it.
Yeah, where we talked about all the new trailers that came out. If you like what was here, consider following our social media right there. Subscribe to the YouTube channel right here. Somebody will edit that in post-production, right?
Thanks for making
right,
it
Frederick?
harder, David.
Round of applause for the editors. That's a weak clap, gentlemen. Weak clap. But we're gonna call.
Half clapping for myself.
We're gonna call that an episode. So I want to thank you all so much for joining us on this episode of Nerds of UVM. I've been David.
I've been Luke.
I've been Bob.
And this has been Nerds of UVM. Thank you once again. And until next time, live long and prosper. Ba-da-bum.